Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/. I fucked up my words, but it's fine. Welcome to twitch.tv/. My name is Graham Day. This is the man that we call Babe, and you are here live for the scoop. How is everyone doing today? If you're in the chat, please feel free to say how you are. It's fine. Speaking of how you are, Babe, how are you? How's things?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Just trying to get myself hyped up Monday morning, so, you know, naturally just a little bit just like...
Bit of a drag.
Yeah, so hype. But anyway, if you're in the chat, please, as mentioned, feel free to get involved in the chat. My name is Graham, this is Bib, and we together are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games on what some people may say is the UK's #1 video games podcast. We are those people, but it's fine, it's good. We're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions, and it's important that if you are here in the chat, you please feel free to get involved, and it's important that you do, because we turn this into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. All the different places where everyone can enjoy us on demand, but they can't speak to us right here, right now, live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads in the chat, where we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. Ish. It's 11:15, but it's fine. It's 10 a.m. Ish. Anyway, if you are, there we go. Show dropping the ish. Gagad, good morning, gents. Good morning, dude. How are we all doing today? We all happy Monday? Nice. What did everyone get up to the weekend? What did you get up to on the weekend, babe?
Golf, mostly. Surprise.
You look almost disappointed when you said that.
I broke my 7-iron.
Oh, gutted.
I literally broke my golf club, so I need to buy a new one. So yeah, that was a little bit devastated. But went to a haunted house thing in Blackburn on Saturday. So that was terrifyingly funny. It takes a little bit for me to get scared. Do you know what I mean? So I thought it was just fucking hilarious. But going through with the wife, who was petrified, like she literally wouldn't move. She was stood. She was frozen. She was that scared. It was fucking amazing.
Nice.
Worth it. What about you?
I've just tried to get a picture together, see if I can, do you not rotate it on phone and stuff, but you can kind of roughly see it. We went out for pancakes. So Saturday morning, got up nice and early to go into Manchester to go to, if you're ever in Manchester early, or not even early, it's open most of the day, I think, but there's a place called Moose Coffee. So if you're ever around Deansgate area of Manchester, it's not too far off Deansgate, but Moose Coffee, probably the best breakfast in Manchester. They do amazing buttermilk pancakes with whatever you want on them. You can either go sweet or savoury, so like the bacons and eggs, or you can go for Nutellas and maple syrups and fruits and whatever. Anyway, pancake stacks, that's what we went for. Nice sexy coffee as well. It's good. Kevlar says Samlesbury Hall. Is that where you went to, Pip?
Pass. I have no idea.
A place.
I can't remember. Yeah, it was like on a farm.
It's not a Farmageddon thing, is it? Oh no, that's somewhere. Is that somewhere?
No. My sister went to that one. That's why you had to run through like cornfields and shit, and people chase you with a chainsaw. That's not for me.
Please don't hit the actors. I didn't hit him. I snapped him. It was different. Gary, good morning, dude. Hey, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Anyway, let's get set. Jump into some news because we have Masters of the League following this, so we'll continue. Anyway, we have. Naturally, as I've mentioned for the past few weeks, and we'll probably continue for the next few weeks, we lead with some stories around the console war. It's not really a war, but you call it war because, you know. Well, two reasons. One, it sells, and two, internet dudes like to fight, so that's what it is. But anyway, the console war continues. And this is the latest from the green side of that war, as Tom Ivan from VGC has a story that says, Phil Spencer thinks the Xbox Series S will end up outselling the Xbox Series X. Just to remind anyone that maybe listening to this doesn't know the difference, the X is the top of the range, high-spec one, and the S is the entry-level one that's cheaper and doesn't have as much power. And the Xbox boss says price really matters in the long run. So jumping into the article, it says, Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer, expects the cheaper Xbox Series S to outsell the Xbox Series X over the course of the next generation. The Xbox Series S at £249 and Xbox Series X at £449 will both launch on November the 10th, while Spencer expects Xbox Series X to be the bigger hit with early adopters. don't know if I said that right, so I'm going to say it again just in case I messed it up. I don't know whether I said X or S, but I'll reconfirm. While Spencer expects the Xbox Series X to be the bigger hit with early adopters, he told Kotaku, "I think over the generation, our expectation would be that price really matters and that you would see the Series S sell more. In terms of which new console ships more this holiday season, when Xbox Series X and S will be competing with PlayStation 5, Spencer said he believes the victor will likely be determined by production capacity." I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, but I think we'll sell every unit of both of them that we can deliver, he said. "I think demand is just going to outstrip supply of pre-orders. For us and PlayStation, I think that the manufacturing supply chain is going to dictate market share more than anything else." Microsoft launched the Xbox Series X and S pre-orders on September the 22nd. Initial stock was snapped up fairly quickly, with some retailers later informing players that they might not receive their console on the day of release. The platform holder has said it plans to make more Series X and S consoles available on launch day after record-breaking demand for the next-gen systems. In his interview with Kotaku, Spencer also suggested Microsoft has already begun working on future Xbox Series console iterations. Last week, Microsoft launched the Xbox S marketing campaign titled "Power Your Dreams" with an advert starring Get Out's Daniel Kaluuya and featuring a new Labyrinth. Is Labyrinth still around? Wow, Labyrinth song. Labyrinth, come in. Anyway, and on Thursday, the Microsoft. And on Thursday, Microsoft revealed the Xbox Series S and X software launch lineup, including 20 games supporting smart delivery, which lets players buy a title once and play it across current and next-gen console. So, Series X will sell a lot. Everything will sell out, but S will be the better selling console across the generation. That's what Phil Spencer thinks. But what do you think, babe?
Well, funnily enough, as I'm reading through the comments, there's a lot of shaggers in here today. So morning, Gagad, morning, Asim, morning, Show, and morning, Gary. But Gary's comment is the one that I was going to go with, and he's absolutely nailed it. This makes sense as the X is more for the hardcore gamers, while the S is perfect for casuals, families, and everybody else. How many times have we said on this show that gaming in general is more for the casuals than it is for the hardcore? There's far more casual gamers out there than there is the hardcore, regardless of what small echo chambers on Twitter suggest. So this is not wrong in my eyes. I do believe that the S is going to sell. I'll probably say 2-1, maybe even 3-1 to the Xbox Series X.
Just reading Asim's comment, which is completely just sent me tumbling down a well in my mind. Shaw says, "Oi, lads, good morning. I'll read." Asim says, "Oh, look, it's Shogun Ash EA Live," which then made me start thinking, Shogun E Ash Live? Shogun Ash Live VA? And then in my mind I was like, E Ash Live. He's in the stream. and then that's when you finished that. I was like, fuck, what did Bibby say? No, I agree. I wonder if they have sales data to back that up. I mean, it's kind of hard to say because they are not the best selling console out there. They don't publish their figures. As simple as that. They know that it's not going to look as good. So rather than having a conversation based around how well or how poorly your console has been selling compared to PlayStation, when you are still selling millions of consoles and thriving more than most businesses could ever imagine, if you publish your figures and they're second, you always look inferior. So they just don't publish them. But I imagine that they have some stats that kind of shows that the Xbox One S has sold more than the Xbox One X. And I wonder if the same thing applies to the PlayStation. I wonder if more people have bought slim versions of consoles than the pro versions of consoles over time, because yes, I've got a PS4 Pro there because I'm a nerd gamer, but when it comes to the Xbox, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I'm more casual when it comes to the Xbox. So I have a Series S downstairs. That's my Twitch box, as I've mentioned more than anything. It's what I used to watch Twitch on TV and not much else, but that was fine for me. The S is fine for me. The X, I don't need. It will just be overkill. So I imagine there's a lot of people that are in the same vein of thought. Morning, lads, says Mr. T. I think you covered everything off there, big. Shogun E Ash NBA Live. Yeah, exactly. 2 Kyogen Ash Live next month. Wink, wink. Pay me in headphones, yeah? Yeah, nice. So, yeah, I mean, I can see it. My only concern is, like, the pause is I've not fully fleshed out my thought process here. Is my only concern is if you're instantly saying I think our lesser product will sell more. I mean, it probably will. If you're saying that, it's probably based on some statistical evidence, and maybe PlayStation is the same. But if you're coming out and saying people aren't going to be as interested in our top end console before it even launches, that almost could be taken as like, oh, all right, calm down, guys. Just before you see everyone actually just buy the lesser version of our console, just it almost sounds like excuse building before it happens. And I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it could be that. Are they expecting to not sell as much as the PlayStation, or I mean, maybe that fits into the ethos of play Xbox anyway. You don't need the box to play Xbox, and S is just an easy version to get into the box. But yeah, I mean, PlayStation is just pushing the PlayStation. They don't have to worry about buying into the cheaper version. It's, do you want a disc or not? I mean, yes, there's a price tied to that, but the price is tied to function. There's a specific deliverable to it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a good point. It's a logical point, but it's not necessarily a point that pushes the fact that the Xbox is the place to play games and it has the most powerful system, and that's like kind of one of the key things. It's the what I mean. Where was the tagline that they went with? Power your dreams is their marketing campaign. Power your dreams, but you don't need the full power because most people are going to be playing it on the least power. It's kind of a conflicting message. So I mean, I think maybe that's probably not him. I mean, obviously digging in and drawing conclusions off of nothing. But it's probably him being a bit honest, just saying, look, okay, we will probably sell a shitload of those, but that's where you see the honesty versus marketing. Marketing is power your dreams, the biggest, bestest, baddest, most powerful, super fast, speedy place to play games that are better than all the other places. But people will buy the cheaper one because they don't really want the best one. Well, what's the point? But yeah,
I think he's targeting the broader audience rather than targeting the. I don't even know what the percent is. When it comes to people who will go out and buy every single first-party game, it might not even be first party, it might be the top AAA third-party game, buy every single one that spend thousands on games a year. I think he's just looking, he wants to speak to parents and he wants to speak to casual gamers. The parents are going to buy the consoles for the kids and they may even get the one themselves. Why would they want to spend 500 sheets on one console when they can spend they can spend 250 quid and get two, so the parents can have one and the kid can have one. I think he's just I think he's just speaking to all audiences rather than the absolute top. Again, I'd love to just put a percentage on it, and I imagine he does have a percentage of how many people bought what of his consoles over the years. But yeah, I think when it comes down to, especially at this time of the year, it's a winter launch coming up to Christmas, brand new console coming out. He's got to speak to the wider audience. 3 years down the line, when they come to do the eventual slim versions or the more powerful versions, that's going to be interesting to find a more powerful console than what it is that they've got. Like the pro version of the consoles that are just coming out in a couple of years down the line, that's going to be very interesting to see what punches are going to be packed in there. But yeah, it's I think he's just speaking to the wider audience, which is a smart move. I'd like to say PlayStation at this moment in time, they're just saying buy our console, disc or no disc.
It's interesting. Like, just jumping in there on that bit, it'd be interesting to see. We're never going to have the data, which is what's frustrating, but which one is more effective? Do you start off with your plateau of this is our console and it's as good as it's always going to be, or do you and then release actually better console is now available, so you start off on the level and then you go up, or do you do what the Xbox does and pitch the Series X but then allow you to go down? Two very, very different marketing principles. So you've got there's a principle called good, better, best. So good, better, best usually means if you put something out there and people might buy it, if you give people a better option, then some people might go, okay, well, I've got a straightforward choice. Do I go better? Well, I've got something that's good, so I might as well stick with good. And having a best option on top of that makes people then think, okay, I don't want shit, but I don't think I want to spend to get the best option. So say they made a Series X Pro or something like that, that would push more people to buy the X in the middle because they want something that can compete and stay in the situation, but they don't want to overspend and stretch themselves too thin. Whereas PlayStation has avoided that entirely by just saying, what function do you want? You are paying purely for a function here. You're going to have the same experience. Xbox has said, do you want a lesser or a superior experience? That's what I mean. Very, very different marketing standpoints. Absolutely, there's going to be a PS5 Pro in 3 years' time. Boom, there's going to be an Xbox Series X Plus box. It's going to have the word box in it because Xbox don't do normal conventions. The Xbox Series X Plus box, that will come out in 3 years' time, which will be like having the Xbox One X that we have now. I mean, it's confusing that we have the Series X, but they'll upgrade it, and then that could have not only advantages in terms of bigger SSDs and better processing power. I mean, it could even be a case of if some of the rumours that apparently weren't entirely true about the Xbox Series X overheating rapidly. If that was the case, then there'll be things where, oh yeah, not only is it faster and bigger and quicker and more powerful, but it also doesn't set your house on fire, so that's a benefit. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see those stats. It's such a horrible thing that we can only like talk about it now, but to see which one's more effective. Having a plateau or having the options, building a good, better, best over time, or just saying this is the one, which one works. I mean, obviously, the difference is PlayStation comes in with a larger install base, so they don't need to have a lower entry price point. They can sit on the laurels knowing that people have digital catalogs and libraries that are just going to sell that console anyway.
Yeah, man.
Show says, I agree, the base will definitely outsell the Pro version. Asim says, if they do a good bundle with the Series S, something like FIFA, they'll definitely sell more. I agree with that. I hugely agree with that. I mean, I have an Xbox Series S, and I have it to play PUBG on, which I now play on my PlayStation, so I don't play it anymore. so yeah, it was a cheap, easy opt-in for me to play PUBG. People out there will just buy an Xbox Series S, so they're 8, 9, 10, 12, whatever, absolute generalising a very small part of the audience based on my personal history, buy it so that your 8 to 12-year-old kid can play FIFA. Job's good. You sit down there, you play football, you've got the latest version of the game, and next year's and the year after will play on it, will play really well. And there's not going to be much difference from anyone that plays it on the Series X. Not like something like PUBG, which would absolutely play much, much better on the Series X versus the Series S. But yeah, you will get shitloads of people that will just buy into that because it's a cheap, easy opt-in for them. Or if their son has an X, then maybe they just have an S so that they can play with their son or daughter or whatever.
Well, there was not long ago the Xbox Series S came out with, was it Minecraft, FIFA, Forza, and something else as a bundle in Aldi, I think, of all places, for like 140 quid. Was it last Christmas? I think we featured it on this show, and it was the most ridiculous deal I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, you was basically just, you was buying, if you bought the 4 games, you would get the console free.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it worked out as.
Which ties into show saying it's not necessarily about interest. People don't have a lot of disposable income right now. I mean, that's the thing as well, is at this point in time, like I said, the biggest issues for, we've said it in the past, the biggest issues for Xbox is that most people have a PlayStation 4. Not necessarily all people, but most. The majority of people have a PS4 versus an Xbox. So how do you contend with that in a generation that has switched to digital massively compared to the generation previously, where people have baggage? That baggage is, I own The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 and Spider-Man and God of War, and not just first-party games, but I might own Assassin's Creed, Odyssey and Origins. I do have them both on my PlayStation. Not going to be able to play those on the Xbox. And any other cross-platform games that you have to buy on one that isn't free to play, you have them all on one system. So how does Xbox tempt you over? Well, the first thing is giving those games. How do we get access to those games? Game Pass, boom, okay, that's absolutely smashing the ass off one area. That's the library bit accounted for. Okay, how else then do we get things over? There is a cost attributed with your PlayStation. Not only have you got PlayStation, but you've got PlayStation controllers, you've got PlayStation headsets, you've got PlayStation cameras and so on. Xbox has gone, okay, well, all of our controllers will work with the next generation, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, well, PlayStation, it kind of does but doesn't. So okay, well that's another benefit for it. And then Xbox going, okay, if cost and replacing all of those stuff is your issue, we'll make you a cheaper version as well, so you can jump in for 200 quid as opposed to 400 quid. That way, if you need a new headset and if you need a new controller and so on, you've got 200 quid to play with there. So that hugely will tempt people in. Absolutely. Excuse me. Pretty sure Xbox One S unit sales did very well when they bundled with FIFA 17. I think it was something like that with Series S. I can see it happening. Yeah, me too. I mean, and the Series S, the One S, had bundles with almost anything. There was a PUBG bundle. There was a Rocket League bundle. I know the Rocket League one because that's the one that I got. And there was other bundles. So yeah, they did very well at bundling it with trending games and like maybe games aimed at that sort of like not necessarily child gamer, not necessarily family gamer, but that there's a cross section in there of players that might play FIFA and Rocket League and PUBG. That sort of area of, I don't know, probably generalising it wrongly, but that tweener sort of game where you go when you're on the edge of family. So you're growing out of your. I mean, how many people have someone in their family who has a kid that plays a 360 and fucking loves it because that's the only console they've got? I do. One of my cousin, his kid plays games. He plays Minecraft on the Xbox 360. But when he gets old enough, he's like, I want to play the next one. That's when, okay, we'll get in the next console. That tweener age where you're jumping off the 360s, which is just a console that someone had in a cupboard and gave it to the kid, but wants to jump onto the next one. Yeah, they definitely. There's a market there. There absolutely is a market there, and they could absolutely smash that with a good bundle.
My granddad still plays his 360. Where he's got all the Call of Duty and Battlefield games, Return to Wolfenstein, all that shit. He absolutely adores it. Will he buy the brand new Xbox? Probably not. He'll just stick with 2 generations old ones now. But it's what he enjoys playing. It might be so. If I could tempt him into getting one, the £250 console would 110% be the one that he would go for.
Yeah.
So that it works for him. You know, as a 74-year-old bloke, and he's still playing games every other day or every day whenever my nan goes out.
That's the thing. Like when I'm saying tweener, I mean I loosely badged it as kids are on the verge of adults, but it's, I mean, obviously much wider than that. Like you say, it's people that are interested in games but don't necessarily that are the most casual of casual. That's probably what it is. So someone like your granddad who wants to play games but doesn't need it to be 1080p, doesn't need it to be 4K, doesn't need textures and shit, just want to enjoy myself.
That's it. It's just his storyline. Like he's not the type of guy that's going to be stood outside game waiting for a midnight launch for the new Call of Duty to go on and rip it up in multiplayer. He's going to be buying it because of the theme. Like, is it a Cold War? Is it Vietnam? Is it whatever the theme is? Is it Modern Warfare? He's in it for the storyline. If it's good, then he'll enjoy it. That's essentially he's old school when it comes to that. It's probably where I end up developing my love of storyline games rather than the multiplayer ones. As long as the storyline's good and the gameplay's good enough, then I can live with that.
No, that's because you're an old man like me.
Well, yeah.
It probably is, to be fair. Xbox's naming for their consoles is more confusing for the average gamer than learning Cantonese. I completely second that agreement. I wish I had it to hand now, but the that graph where it shows you like an Xbox and then the box that it came in, an Xbox box. So one Xbox box, and then one Xbox One box. One Xbox, one Xbox. And it's like, just suddenly blue screen. Did you see that Xbox One S dev kits might be being sold on AliExpress? There's a motherboard that uses the One S sock, going for $125, which is suggested by Linus Tactics might be a dev kit. Interesting. 125 quid for an Xbox One S. Job's good. Bargain. West, good morning, dude. Says, sorry I'm late. I'm tempted to buy the Series S. Only use a 1080p monitor and only really play PUBG. I mean, that's it. I mean, even if you use a 1080p monitor, so I play on 1080p monitors, so the 4K elements of the PS5 are kind of lost on me in that sort of sense. But I eventually hope to get a bigger 4K monitor and things there, which I actually invested in the Amazon Prime Day sales. Yeah, I bought myself a little HDMI splitter just because I thought, oh, I'm stuck. I thought I might need one in the future. Did you say egg box? Egg box. There you go. Hey, clever. I like it. West absolutely does have an egg box. But yeah, I only have a 1080p monitor. The 4K stuff is kind of lost on me. The ray tracing stuff isn't. I mean, you'll still see the benefit of that even in 1080p. The loading times and the graphical fidelity in terms of what the game can power out and so on, that's where the benefit is coming from for me. So there's definitely a benefit for having that, but not that much. If you are just playing on 1080p and you can play 1080p as you are now and you're perfectly happy with it, then there's not really anything that's drawing you into it. It's just the it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's down to your own perception. It's subjective. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Preference, that's the word. Not perception. It's down to your preferences. It's a very subjective thing. You don't need it. It would be nice. But if you don't need it, then the Series S is more than equipped to give you what you need. Absolutely. Raxan Gaming, good morning, says Xbox likes to bundle games with their consoles to push sales, and most bundle packages arrive around the time of Black Friday. I mean, you get that quite often with a lot of things. It's a very good sales technique. Tell people you get more for less, they want it. Ta-da! So, I mean, we're not going to see that, obviously, this time, because the games are out, like a week, 2 weeks before, well, more like 2 weeks before Black Friday. So don't expect any Black Friday sales for your consoles this time. You will probably get loads of adverts from whatever your electrical retailer of choice is, be it Amazon, Currys, whatever, that will have PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S imagery in their sales banners, but you absolutely 100% will not be getting a discount console this year. Well, I mean, you're not going to get one this year. They're all gone. But even still, yeah, you're not going to get one. Did you say?
So do you reckon then that they're going to bring up? Do you reckon that they're going to bring out pre-orders again? Not before console launch, but do you reckon that they're going to have one potentially before Christmas this year? Or is that too soon?
Like reservations, like stock reservations.
Yeah. So like when the 19th comes and goes, everyone's got their day one console. On November 20th, are they going to open it up for pre-orders until the end of the month? End of November with a guaranteed delivery day before, I don't know, December 20th. They'll say, right, okay, we've got another 100,000 consoles for the UK. Boom, there's your retailer. But surely not. Surely this isn't going to be, everyone who's got in one day one, this isn't going to be the only chance this year to be able to get a console. Surely not. It can't.
There will absolutely 100% be more consoles out there. I'm not sure if it'll be a reservation thing. I think that'll be down to a retailer by retailer basis. Some retailers, if they are clever, will put the reservation stuff out. Some retailers won't. The thing with the retailer stuff, and good morning, Luke. He's absolutely just nailed what I was just about to jump onto. To be fair, the thing with retailer stuff is, if you put it on sale, you're probably going to sell it in store. If you put it on sale, you're probably going to sell it online. But if you put it on sale before it goes on sale, and let people know that, okay, just going to put this on sale, just going to let you know this thing here is about to be on sale. Everyone here, this thing is about to be on sale. Suddenly everyone turns around and goes, okay, didn't want it, but now I know that he wants it, maybe I do want it. And it's the fear of missing out. FOMO. FOMO is absolutely what sells shit. More than anything. It's if someone else wants it, then that the value perception for you increases. It's a psychologically proved thing. So
Rakas made me pissed out. Pre-order to pre-order the console.
Which what was it? Was it Shop2 that did that or something? They had a pre-order kind of thing.
Pre-order the pre-order to then get your pre-order.
Pre-order and then pay your pennies for the pre-order to the pre-order, and it's like, I mean,
I'll tell you what, it took out the scalpers, didn't it? So clearly it's a business model that works. I reckon more people are going to take stuff up for things like this in the future, especially with high ticket price items that they know is hot in demand. I'm not talking about like Shark Hoovers or anything like that. I'm talking about top tier either TVs, consoles, whatever, PCs, whatever it'll be, is
We
this
actually
is
want a
probably
shark
going to be a
Hoover,
good
so
way of
be
doing it.
careful what you're saying, mate.
Well, no, the only reason it come to mind is because Samantha's banging on about one as well. It's like, Jesus, we are nearly 30. This cannot be the way that we're going.
Yeah, we were sat there first day of the Prime sale. I WhatsApped Danielle going, "You do realise there's a shark Hoover 51% off?" Woo! So yeah, that is life. That is life. Anyway, but yeah, I mean the pre-order stuff is it's a travesty. It is, because we live in a world where we have to do that. It's not a travesty. I mean, the system behind it is clever because it gets rid of arseholes and bird bot shit and all that stuff to some extent. But it is a crap that we live in a world where we trip each other up that much that we have to jump through that many hoops to get something. Like Asim, I don't know if you're still here. What was it, Curry's or something, which boosted the price of the console by £1,000 just to kind of scare people away that were like gonna try scalp it. But then when you buy the console, they give you a £1,000 discount code. So basically, there is no extra £1,000. It's literally just a system to get rid of people, so they don't think, oh shit, I'm gonna be pre-charged for multiple things, and they can only do it once, and it can only be used on that console, and it's automatically applied. So there's no way that you're gonna get charged £1,400 for this console. But that sort of stuff, clever. It's clever. I mean, it's shit that it has to happen, and it's terrifying, and will no doubt scare some people away that would want it, because some people are like, I'm not sure about that. No. Predominantly people from Yorkshire, obviously. I know that. I could speak from at £1,400. You're having a bubble. So yeah, it's shit. I mean, it won't scare people away they'd notice it on their bottom line. They're still going to sell every single one of them. But yeah. It's shit that we have to do that. But that fear of missing out, they're coming back full circle. I think there will be more pre-orders. I imagine you will get more online reservations, new stock, sign up for stock alerts and things like that, and they will fly out very, very quickly. But there will definitely 100% be physical stock in stores. If they haven't all gone, there'll still be some there, and even if they have all gone, they will get a fresh batch around launch. Maybe not too much, and maybe they will go, and that's not just in game and Curry's and whatever. That'll be Tesco and Sainsbury's and so on, because they have a need to have those consoles in store. Yeah, they want to sell them, but having that console in store means that you will go in and you will buy add-on purchases. So when you're in store, not only will you pick up the console, when you're there, you will see the controller, you will see the Pulse headset, and you will see the 250-gram bar of Cadbury's Dairy Milk Fruit and Nut that I just want to chew on while I'm halfway through my first mission in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And do you know what? Chocolate can be quite dehydrating, so I probably need myself a drink or something. You know, maybe something like a 2-litre bottle of Fanta Fruit Twist. But do you know what? A bit of chocolate and a bit of Fruit Twist, I'm going to need some savoury, so grab a bag of Doritos, or maybe some chicken and thyme sensation. I mean, by the time you've done that...
out here, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. So they need them in store to make you go in to pick up the extra purchases. So they 100% will be consoles in store. Maybe not a lot, maybe not as many as you want, and you might not get one. They might sell rapidly. But if you haven't got one, and you've lost out to them from the extra ones that come from the FOMO effects online, then you will, if you're quick off the mark on launch day, you will be able to pick one up 100%. Just stick away, get away from the game store in the Trafford Centre or game in the Arndale or anywhere like that. I mean, I'm obviously not. You can buy from anywhere else that's not in Manchester if you want, but these are my local examples. Don't go there because everyone else is going there. Go to Sainsbury's on Regent Road, which is out of the way a little bit compared to those ones or Morrison's in Eccles. Those kind of places that are not on the doorstep of everyone. That's where you're more likely to get one. I think they'll have a ton of extra stock at launch. The shortage of pre-orders build the hype. I mean, it could be. I'm not entirely convinced. I mean, I would say that usually, but because of the year we've had and production being delayed, I don't think they will have shitloads. I think they will have some, but even still, I think there's going to be enough that they will all sell. You just have to be quick to get them if you want them. I will buy Series X, says Lake. I just have to. Good afternoon, Lake. Even though it's good morning for us, but good afternoon. I'll get next gen after it's been out a year or so. A lot of the problems will be resolved. It's not a bad shout. That's absolutely not a bad shout. Like, look at the Xbox One X. had that power bank that had a habit of burning out within a year, and then there was the PlayStation controllers that had the habit of just the sticks just falling to bits and so on. There's always things. I mean, so using the Xbox power bank.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Thank you for the follow, Raxan, as well. Very, very much appreciated. By the way, if anyone else is lurking, please feel free to hit follow on the channel. We often beg for follows and stuff because, you know, that's what we want to do. But we are closing in on 2,000 followers, so if you guys hit follow, we will do a giveaway at 2K. So if you know anyone and you want to start a giveaway, you want to help us grow and get yourself potential prizes, then yeah, you know, drop follows like Raxan just did. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. But yeah, Xbox. If there is an overheating problem, not saying there is, because I've never tried one myself, and I've seen conflicting messaging, but if there is an overheating problem, Raxan, you'll know that by the time it comes to you buying your console, so they will have fixed it, or you will be able to just go, actually, not a fan of the potential for overheating, I'll just get a PS5 or whatever instead. Waiting a year gives you a chance to miss out on all of the potential pitfalls that early adopters have. David says, if it's the usual crush, it will be pick up a console and get COVID free. Yeah, exactly. Everyone stay socially distanced. 2000. It'd be like what's the film with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Not Last Action Hero. The one where he gets the Jingle All the Way, where he's trying to get the toy at Christmas. It'll be like that, but with just COVID everywhere. You get COVID and you get COVID. Anyway. Enough about Xbox. Let's balance things out and let's talk a little bit about PlayStation. Oh, wrong button. No, right button, but not the button I wanted to press. You guys won't notice the difference then. I've just turned on display capture, which would have just started chewing my resources. But anyway, forgetting that. Andy Robinson at VGC says, Sony says it's reviewing feedback to PS4's party changes following widespread criticism. This week's PS4 update combined the third-party message and messages apps. Combine the party and message app, not third party. Anyway, Sony Interactive Entertainment has said it's reviewing its feedback to a recent change to PS4 chat parties following widespread criticism from players. This week's PS4 version 8.0 patch introduced a number of changes to the current gen console, the most significant of which linked the party and messages apps together. Since the update, voice chats are required to take place through a permanent message group. This has led to many users criticising the change for being unnecessarily complex and making it difficult for friends to drop in and out of a chat at will. This week's second most popular thread on the PS4 subreddit, behind a discussion around the audio recording controversy, which we spoke about the other day, includes hundreds of comments criticising the new party system. PS4's party changes come in preparation for PS5's own UI updates, with PlayStation comms boss Sid Schumann declaring in a recent video that the platform holder wanted parties to become bigger than just voice chat, with message, media shares, and parties all appearing in the same place. The reaction to version 8.0 seemingly inspired a new message from Sony on Saturday, which acknowledged the response and thanked fans for speaking up. Hey folks! Just wanted to let you know that we're looking into your feedback on the recent changes to parties on PS4, it tweeted. Thanks for speaking up. We'll keep you posted. It's the third time this week Sony has had to respond to the community fallout caused by version 8.0. On Friday, the platform holder apologised to PlayStation users for its confusing messaging surrounding an upcoming PS5 feature, which will enable users to record their voice chats and submit them for moderation purposes. Following the release of PlayStation 4's 8.0 update earlier this week, a message alerted players that their conversations may be recorded, causing #PS4 update to trend on Twitter as players voiced privacy concerns. In an update on the PlayStation blog, Sony said the message was related to a future PS5 feature that will enable users to record their voice chats in order to report instances of verbal harassment. Then on Friday, Catherine Jensen, VP of Global Consumer Experience at Sony Interactive Entertainment, explained the new feature in more detail in a follow-up PlayStation blog post. Its sole purpose is to help in reporting of inappropriate behaviour, including actions that violate our community code of conduct, she said. Please note that this feature will not actively monitor or listen in on your conversations ever, and it's strictly reserved for reporting online abuse or harassment. PlayStation gamers learned about this new feature in an unexpected way following the recent PS4 8.0 system update. We didn't clearly communicate this feature or explain why we were introducing it, and we apologise for that. So a bunch of bits in there. The main thing, though, we've obviously spoken about the voice capturing, Sony recording stuff. There is a little bit of tinfoil hat syndrome there in terms of, they're recording my voice. They're going to listen to me talking to Bibby about I don't know, Pez Mobile or whatever we've been speaking about recently. No, they have all of my thoughts on Pez Mobile. But obviously there is natural, when you go beyond the tin hat stuff, there is obviously people's rights and freedoms to be considered. But we've discussed that previously. Onto the party changes, consolidating voice and video and images and text all into one place. Kind of the way I said was heading towards WhatsApp. There's been a lot of a backlash towards that. What are your thoughts, Bib?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like on paper what they've tried to do is make PlayStation Discord. Do you not think? Like they want to have like a Discord type system where you can have different channels, you can share images, you can share chats. I don't know whether or not this is an option for them, but to be able to have these kind of facilities on your mobile phone as well, so you don't have to be away from your community while you're not on your PlayStation. And I think that's what they tried to aim for. However, like you say, it's the tinfoil hat stuff. We spoke about this last week. Like if you're playing online, or if you have a mobile device, or you have any kind of device that can connect to the internet, your privacy is no longer there, regardless of whether or not you use a VPN, because you use a VPN, but the VPN doesn't stop you from putting your life on social media. It just stops people from knowing where you are. So yeah, it's as soon as you connect to the internet, some sort of privacy goes out the window. So I don't understand what the big fuss was about. Like, no one's going to be listening to you and your mates talk shit in your PlayStation parties. It's just no one can be asked. No one's going to be sat there in an office somewhere with a suit and tie listening to you waffle on about
video games on the scoop each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. Pow! Oh, wait, actually, that's a negative. Fuck!
No one's going to hear you waffling shit to your mates in party chat, let's face it. But yeah, it was always a non thing for me anyway. If there was the ability for them to be able to listen to the conversations, so be it. Like, my rights have been given up once I connect to their services. That's just the way it is. But yeah, it was always a non-starter. It's interesting to see the direction that they want to take this stuff, and how they didn't really give people the information beforehand about what it is that was implemented, because people might have been excited rather than worried. And I think that's a kind of a step back that they're taking with this.
Yeah, I think if you're making something that is good, if people are dicks to you online in party chats or whatever, and they've made it so that you can report that, say that first. Just have it as a. Oh, my Amazon package was delivered. I know it was last week. Fuck off notification. Just make it as a crappy PSA. Heads up, by the way, we're changing things so that you can now report people with voice chats. This will be included in the new update. Ta-da! That's it. Job's good. I get they don't want to take the steam away from the PS5. That's understandable. But do you take a little bit of the steam off the PS5 for like 10 seconds while the internet goes, oh, that's an update, and then goes back to the PS5 again? Or do you not say anything and then let everyone go, well, this is fucking shit. Is this what we've got to put up with a PS5? By assuming that you're taking the gloss off the PS5 and ignoring it, you are allowing the rumour mill to start churning. The rumour mill churns. Everyone puts on the tinfoil hats, and suddenly, all of a sudden, I don't want to buy a PS5 because Mark Zuckerberg has pretty much Facebooked it, so now it's going to take all my data and sell it to Donald Trump. And it's like, it's literally just so you can, party chat. Chill the fuck out. Fuck. But, yeah. I'm intrigued as the outrage around the PS4 party changes, because people saying it's like in this. I mean, maybe I've not looked into it enough. Maybe I'm missing something obvious. If I am, please feel free to let me know in the chat. So the issue is that people say it's more difficult to just create a voice chat. I mean, I use WhatsApp pretty often. I send text, I send videos, and I still find it extremely easy to call someone. I use Discord all the time. I'm using it right now. Baby's there through Discord. I will speak to him with text, with video, and send images and whatever. I don't find any of that hard. So why is it suddenly going to be such harder? Because I mean, Bibby's just mentioned Discord. the comment West has just put in would be the absolute ideal. I just wish Xbox and PS4 would integrate Discord chat. Xbox chat is rubbish. PlayStation chat is rubbish. They are on a par with Skype when it comes to audio quality.
Yeah.
Horrendous. The functions of them are just crap. Just give us Discord so that we can use it on our phone, on our PC, and on our console, wherever we want. It makes things much, much easier. But if the PS4 party stuff is going to be like that, if PlayStation decided, do you know what, we will have a web app, or even a console and a desktop app, or whatever, so you can keep your party chat. So if I'm streaming, I can speak to Bibbit on the PS4 using their web app, which the audio comes through the PC, or through a desktop app and the audio comes through the PC. Wonderful, whatever, that's fine. But I don't understand how having these chats that last forever. I don't understand how that makes it more difficult. I think the only place I've seen where it becomes more difficult is creating a party with a randomer. So say if I'm in PUBG and me and Big Butts 123 are playing duos. Naturally, I mean, shout out to Big Butts 123. If you are Big Butts 123 on PSN, then you don't have to worry about the shout out. It's free. We got you. But me and Big Butts 123 playing PUBG, and I want to create a party because we want to jump into a few games. Actually, I enjoyed that game. Do you want to play another? Yeah, nice. Then it becomes a bit more difficult. That's the only thing I've seen. But that will stop me getting shit messages from people trying to flog me. Cracked PSN accounts that have got 72 games on and so on. If it's harder to just spam randoms with stuff, then that's a good thing for me. But I don't know. Maybe I just get a lot of spammy shit from people and others don't. Maybe I'm just on the other side of the coin. Overall, I don't know. I don't understand what the negativity is. I know that PlayStation's going to look at it, but they're criticising the change for being unnecessarily complex and making it difficult for friends to drop in and out of a chat at will. If I want to speak to Bibby in a chat, I will just scroll down my list of conversations and go, there he is, Bob. I imagine it's going to be the same. Is it not going to be the same? I mean, if it isn't, and PlayStation done it some stupid way, then fair enough. But literally, people have been clamouring for Discord on consoles forever. And if PlayStation they're doing their own way as opposed to just using Discord, which would be much, much more preferred. But if they found their own way of doing that, so that it's more like Discord, then surely copying the most successful platforms in the market is the way forward.
Surely it's literally just down to licensing, because I can't imagine it being, because for me, when it comes down, because way back in the day, people used to use TeamSpeak. Like I don't even know if people still use it. The only people that I think would still be using that is the same clans that would have been using it way back when, and like CS:GO and World of Warcraft when the raids were just coming about. Do you know what I mean? That's how old the likes of TeamSpeak is. Discord, so much newer, and I think it is the mainstay when it comes to video games. If you want to speak to your mates in party chat that isn't on the PlayStation, you go to Discord. We play 10v10. We did start to use Discord. So using Discord now, for me, whenever I'm talking about playing games with someone, it's the first thing that I think of. I never think about plugging my earphones into my controller to be able to use those parties. I think because it is so big, the amount it'll cost to license it within your... Because it would have to be a function that would be there until the PlayStation 5 becomes redundant, if that was the case, or the Xbox Series X becomes redundant. Is it one of those things that the license is only for a year exclusively and then it goes on to everyone and everybody can use it? Is it one of the things that has to be programmed into your console before it gets shipped out? Is it something that can come as a software update later on? I imagine it would be very expensive.
I see it as being the same. It works on your mobile. It's just an app that uses the functions within there. In the same way that Netflix works on your mobile, and you can also download the Netflix app to work on your PlayStation.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why PlayStation and Xbox haven't seen how good that is. I understand that they want to control their party systems, but you work with the things that make the systems better, in my opinion. And I feel like that's where video games haven't evolved as much. You've started to see, I mean, Xbox and PlayStation were both wanting to control streaming and the platforms that streaming works on. And over years, they've realised that, okay, we can't control that. Twitch is much bigger than ours, so we will allow you to spit out onto Twitch. I mean, Xbox wanting Mixer was kind of like the next step on of us owning all of our platforms and stuff like that. So they've gone, okay, we're not going to do it. We'll go out to Mixer. So they aren't controlling streaming anymore. They realise that they can work with streaming providers. at the moment they are trying to control the communications element of it, and I feel that would work just as well if they just work with even better. Not even just as well. I think it would work better going forward if they push that part of communication out to a platform that is designed purely for communication. I think that would be the better thing for everyone. But I mean,
did anybody actually use Skype on their Xbox by any chance? Because it was Skype the one that was integrated with it. Was the quality better than it was on PC or your mobile phone? I have no idea, but it was a feature that was on the console.
No idea. I mean, if you did, then hang your head in shame. Hang your head in shame. I mean, Skype had already gone down by then. I can't say Spike had gone down because that would mean something different. And I know Spike's been around here for a long time, but that's not why. Woo! Never used Skype with it. Yeah, I imagine most people didn't. But then again, I mean, even Skype was quite an unused thing. I remember having business meetings and conversations on email, and then jumping to the phone call to when you have the business call. I remember when you kind of felt like cutting edge when someone was like, should we have a Skype chat? And you're like, oh, easy, Tiger. Yeah, I'm all on board for that. And now, that's kind of, we're almost, I mean, probably a little bit past that point with Discord now. I've had plenty of business meetings on Discord. Obviously, where we are in the world now has changed that dramatically. Drastically. Both of them. But I imagine a lot of businesses still find that Discord being a step too far. And I think the fact that it is based in gaming will probably put off quite a few businesses and things anyway. I mean, obviously not like should put off PlayStation and Xbox because they're kind of based in gaming too. But yeah, I just don't understand why they haven't embraced those changes. That feels like where video gaming hasn't moved forward with the times, despite the fact that times have moved on dramatically. Clearly, hashtag dramatically. Skype went to skip when Microsoft bought it. Yeah. Talk to people. Don't us gamers just sit in darkened rooms on our own without contact with the outside world? That's true. Did you see that dickhead? I'm going to be blunt. Dickhead that I quote tweeted earlier on today. Where is it? See if I can find it. Oh, it's a bit further down. Oh, so some guy called Taylor Marshall, who's a Trump-aligned pillock. I mean, make of that what you will. But this guy, I mean, the Trump-aligned bit doesn't necessarily matter. But this is his tweet. It's completely tangent in. I apologise, but I'm going to show it anyway. Young men, here's some dad advice. Do you play fighting video games? Instead, join a jiu-jitsu or boxing gym. Call of Duty? Walk down and enlist as a Marine. Sports games, go outside and play sports with people. Don't be a thumb warrior. Do it for real, like your grandpa did. You are a twat. That's as simple as I'm going to say it. That is shit. It clearly doesn't understand how video games and all the research that's been put into proving video games improves social skills, improves problem-solving skills, offers creative storylines, which all the research into how TVs and books can help get your mental juice flowing. Video games does that exactly as much. This is just some absolute weapon that's just gone, don't play video games, do things in the real world, which naturally led to all sorts of shit like saying, don't play Fortnite on your video game, jump out of buses in real life. And it's like, don't kill your friends and lie about it in Among Us, do it in the real world. No, mate, shut the fuck up. Yeah, that guy's an absolute weapon. I mean, I apologise for the swearing. I mean, we do swear occasionally, but yeah, that's when you've got idiots like that, then a few extra swears is fine. It's fine. Anyway, let's jump into the next story. Before we do jump into the next story, so let's stick with Twitter for a second, because I just want to remind you guys of this. You may not have seen Ice Cream Uploads tweeted out over the weekend. We are giving away a copy of FIFA 21. That is the loot drop prize for this month. Sexy asset designed by the Next Gen Renegade, aka Gatekeeper TV, aka the Rabid Pitbull, aka Mr. Craig Pitt. So we are giving away a copy of FIFA 21. That's the loot drop prize for this month. The giveaway is exclusive to our Twitch subs. So if you've got a tier 1, 2, 3 or Prime sub, it doesn't matter which one. Everyone has an equal chance of winning one entry per sub. So even if you've got a tier 3, it's just one entry. And we're going to give that away on the 2nd of November. So, yeah, if you're a sub, make sure you're still a sub on the 2nd of November. That's all you need to do. And linked in our Discord. Actually, I'm saying that's all I need to do. I'll clarify that. You need to be a sub and you need to be in our Discord. Your Twitch and Discord accounts need to be linked. If you don't have them linked, you won't get access to the loot drop channel on Discord. A simple thing to say is if you're not in the loot drop channel on Discord, you're not entered, even if you are a sub. So make sure you get things linked up, and then you can win yourself a copy of FIFA. Nice.
Do I get to win the copy of FIFA?
Yes. No, you don't. No. Yes. No.
Take him a sub away.
Gagad says grade A twat, which I can only assume is Bibby trying to get a copy of FIFA and not the guy that we've just seen on Twitter. Good point. I play PUBG to relax. I should probably join the army at 42 years of age. You should join the army, and you should run around the battlefield with a pan on your ass.
Thanks for the reminder.
Hey, Gagad. I was about to shout Raxam because it didn't come up on my newsfeed, but thank you very much for the 2-month sub. Very, very much appreciated. And do you know what? If you haven't already, make sure you're in the Discord with everything linked, because then you'll have a chance of winning FIFA on the 2nd. So nice.
He's already in there. Don't worry. I've just checked.
Nice.
He's already done everything necessary. Legend.
Lovely. Appreciate the sub. Thank you very much for that. Gary says, if I play Mafia, does that mean I need to get down to Sicily and sign up to join the Don? Absolutely. 100%.
I'm joining you.
I mean, the fact that I play PES and I manage a team that's currently in the Champions League means that I need to stick on my sheepskin coat and just go toddling up to Old Trafford and just have a word with Ollie and say, look, you've done all right. 4-1 at the weekend. Yeah, it's nice. I've got it here, lads. And then just keep running out onto the pitch and go, do you know what? Fucking attacking fullbacks, tiki-taka and gegenpress all at the same time. It works in PES, so it's got to work in... No, mate, shut up. Anyway, let's not endorse that Pillock and his conversation strings anymore. If you're going to criticise video games and real life, I will leave you with one closing thought. How about not having a go at people for consuming digital media by posting out a message on digital media? That's the thing, you absolute tit. Don't do stuff online. Instead, read my advice online. No weapon. Anyway, next story, jumping in, is written by Vikki Blake at Eurogame, and she says Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Beta gets a 24-hour extension. Achievement unlocked. Thanks to the code-breaking efforts of the Call of Duty community, players enjoying the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Open Beta will see their playtime extended by 24 hours. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War went into beta across the PS4, Xbox One, and PC this week with cross-play enabled. After emails tempting players to solve a series of coded messages were sent out over the weekend, the community banded together to tackle the puzzles. Excuse me, I need to burp. It's a Pepsi burp. Shout out to Zaffa Cakes if you get the reference. The reward was a one-day extension to the cross-platform beta, which means it will now close at 6 p.m. UK time on the 20th of October instead of the previously advertised 19th of October. Thanks to the code-breaking efforts of our incredible community, an extra day of the hashtag Black Ops Cold War beta has been unlocked, the official Call of Duty Twitter account tweeted. The beta will now end at October 20th at 10 a.m. PT. It's possible not all fans will be grateful for the additional time, though. As was reported yesterday, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War console players are turning off crossplay to try to escape PC cheaters in the beta. Fucking hell, cheaters in the beta already. Despite progress not carrying over from the beta into the full release, cheaters have already been spotted ruining the game for others. Damn! Has anyone been playing the Black Ops Cold War beta? What do you think? I haven't, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to either before it finishes, but I'd like to know what you guys all think of it. Not that I'm against Black Ops Cold War. I really enjoyed Warzone, even though I've not played it for months. What do you guys think? Have you played it, babe? Are you tempted to play it? Would you like to play it?
I did download it, but I never actually booted it up because I was on the, funnily enough, I was on the golf course with my cousin last week, and he said that you had to be a Sky, that he got a code through Sky VIP to play it. So when it said it was an open beta, was it an open beta that you needed a code to be able to play it still?
That's because kind of not open.
From the, yeah, because I downloaded it from the PlayStation Store, but I never booted it up because I left it running. I left it downloading while I went to golf, and then while I was at golf, he went, "Oh yeah, I've got it for our kid." He asked for the Sky VIP code. I give him the code for him to be able to put it in so he could play in it, and I was like, okay, that doesn't seem like an open beta. That seems like a closed beta. So I've probably got that completely wrong, and I've got it. I've downloaded it. I've just not booted it up because of that. So interested.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll find out when I boot it up in a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to say other than you've got 24 hours extra if you're playing it. If you are playing it, did you need to enter a code? If you did, yeah, that seems a bit of a dodgy way to do an open beta. But if you didn't, what are your experiences with cheaters? Have there been cheaters? Are you having to restrict it to just PlayStation or Xbox only in terms of turning off the crossplay? What are you guys thinking? I mean, it shows you how successful Call of Duty have been over the last 12 months in particular. Yeah. I mean, Call of Duty has always been successful. Some of it has been dropping off, but as a scale of business, it's always been massive for the last 15 years at least. But the last 12 months in particular, with the success of Warzone and the amount of ground covered in terms of content creators and stepping into that realm, if you have a lot of eyes on your game, you have more want for asshats in the world to cheat. And that shows you just how successful it is. Where a beta that isn't even out and people are needing to cheat in it, something that is only a short-term thing and doesn't progress into anything further. As they've mentioned, your progress doesn't continue. Cheating in that, really? I mean, I'm saying really. I mean, I obviously know it's a thing. We all know it's a thing, and we all believe it's stupid. But yeah. Why? Why do this?
To be fair, I'd much rather him cheat in a beta.
Hey, Bibi just got sprayed.
She just come in and said it smells like ass, so she's walking around spraying fucking perfume in my office of all the things. It does actually smell quite nice. But yeah, I'd much rather him cheat in the open beta because surely that'll give evidence as to how they can improve the non-cheating element. Do you know what I mean? How to try and combat cheaters when the full thing comes out.
Yeah, I mean, at least for the early days, people will usually find another way around it. But yeah, if you do it now, then that's good. Yeah, bring us all your cheats right now. So when the actual full thing launches, we can just squash it all down. Jumping back into comments, sticking to the doing real world things in video games, Iceman says, and I should run off to a deserted island and build it up myself. Yeah, absolutely. You should. Just in the same way that if you play Fortnite, rather than playing Fortnite, what you should really do is walk around with a pickaxe in your hand. But before you do that, get a few wooden pallets and rip them up and just carry all of the wood on your back as well. So if you do find someone that slights you in any way in the real world, drop your pickaxe, get out your hammer and nails, build a ramp, and a wall and another ramp, and by the time you've finished, that person will have gone. So never mind. Yeah. There's nothing much you can do about that.
Yeah. Well, not just that, mate. You know what I mean? If I want to go and try and save Raccoon City, I need to get myself over there. Oh wait, it's been blown up.
I'm still trying to unsub following disturbing comments made by certain people.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, I mean, all I could hear was exceptional comments being made. Exceptional comments being made. It doesn't matter. Just leave it alone. Eggs are a big thing for West, and he doesn't like them being merged with beans or tomatoes or any sauce because well, he's not a complete person. That's all I'm saying. That's fine. But anyway, moving on. I love you, West. Depending on that GIF, that gets age. His granddad didn't fight in a war. Fight a war. He was in a policing action in Korea. I mean, that's the thing. I quote tweeted it with something like, "I hope your grandpa is proud," because he was like, "Just like your grandpa did," and I was like, "I hope your grandpa is proud." Because imagine hating on someone's hobbies and activities and an entire industry without doing your research like that. That is prejudice. I hope your grandpa, who fought in wars to get rid of oppression and prejudice, is happy that you're using the freedom that he got for you to be prejudiced and oppressive. Nice one. GG, mate. Gary says, I like Angry Graham. Yeah. I should also jump straight into an F1 car. Do it. Chelsea in UK says, oh, hi. Hey, welcome in. Iceman says, I downloaded it, started it up, saw that I need an Activision account and deleted it. I don't want an account that I won't use. I mean, I that is frustrating, but I kind of see that as the necessary evil. The good thing with having an Activision account, just the same way that having an EA account or a Konami account or a PUBG account or whatever, means that for the future, you're more likely to get cross-platform stuff. So you could watch Twitch and get in-game stuff for free, or you could watch me and Bibi playing and get drops, or you could play on your PlayStation and unlock something that you can take to your other account. So it is a ball ache, but it's a necessary evil for a better future in that sort of sense. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but just do it. You'll enjoy it. Cold War seems an odd naming convention considering the Cold War was largely the superpowers spying on each other with a little conflict. I mean, that's the point of the name, Cold War. It was a war that was pretty cold in essence, yeah. Bibby got sprayed. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, one final story. Let's jump onto before we disappear. This was a story that circulated at the end of last week, and is based off of a big bit of news from last month, or earlier this month, I can't remember exactly when it was. But Wes Yin-Poole at Eurogamer says that Bethesda games don't have to launch on PlayStation for Microsoft's $7.5 billion deal to pay off, Xbox boss insists in the scrolls. So Bethesda games don't have to launch on PlayStation for Microsoft's $7.5 billion acquisition of the company to pay off, Xbox boss Phil Spencer has said. In an interview with Kotaku's Stephen Totilo, Spencer was asked whether it was possible to recoup the $7.5 billion purchase of Bethesda if Microsoft doesn't sell The Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation consoles. Yes, Spencer replied, before saying Microsoft doesn't have to ship Bethesda games on any other platform than the platforms that we support in order to make the deal work for us. Here's Spencer's reply in full. This deal was not done to take games away from another player base like that. Nowhere in the documentation that we put together was, how do we keep players from playing these games? We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer to be able to go play games. But I'll also say in the model, I'm just answering directly the question that you had. When I think about where people are going to be playing and the number of devices that we had, and we have a xCloud and PC and Game Pass and our console base, I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means. Ever since Microsoft's industry-shaking purchase of Bethesda, the company behind the likes of Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Doom, fans have wondered whether Spencer will ensure new Bethesda games will be PC and Xbox exclusive. It's a question we debated among many, many others in our recent Eurogamer Next Gen newscast below. By not releasing Bethesda games on PlayStation consoles, Microsoft will be leaving millions of dollars on the table. But Spencer's reply to Kotaku suggests Microsoft is comfortable with that. The Elder Scrolls 6 is without a release date, but BB has somehow already pre-ordered every single console copy and PC copy and smart fridge copies that have ever existed.
And I'm free falling.
And I'm free falling. Thank you very much for the 5-month sub chappers. You're a beautiful man. So the Elder Scrolls 6 without a release date, and Bethesda has indicated Starfield, the developer's first original RPG in 25 years, will come out first. All eyes will be on that game to see whether it launches on PlayStation 5 as well as PC and Xbox Series X. Once again, chappers, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate the support. Genuinely, we've mentioned this a few times. We appreciate anyone that follows, that lurks in the channel, that drops bits or subs or anything. It all helps. This isn't our full-time job. We do work in the video games industry and we do a lot of stuff around this, but we aren't paid to do this stuff. So any of those subs and stuff do help support the channel. Do mean we can do things like giving away a copy of FIFA for free. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So the gist of the PR answer is we don't want to take games away from anyone else. We can make enough money selling the games on our own platforms. We don't want to stop the games from being in anyone else's hands. But then that instantly leads to the logical questions of, if you don't need to sell it anywhere else and you can be successful on your own Steam without working with PlayStation, why would you? If you own something, you wouldn't share it with your competitor. That's the general gist of business. Phil Spencer and his vision for Xbox has been about getting the most out of video games for everyone, having no exclusives for anyone, and all of that sort of stuff. Obviously, that is lip service when it comes to business. Anyone can say that, but when it actually comes down to brass tacks, business is business. So do we see Bethesda games being on PlayStation, or do you see them being Microsoft exclusive? What are your thoughts, Bib?
I can't see it just being an Xbox exclusive. I can't. I mean, either way, it wouldn't bother me because it means that it will come to Xbox Game Pass and I'll be able to play it on my PC, which is probably the way that I would have been playing it anyway. But it just means that the Bibby 5 copies of Skyrim that he owns now, if there was to do that with Elder Scrolls 6, then I won't be able to buy as many copies as I can. It's a lot of money that they're gonna. If they don't put it on PlayStation, it's a lot of people to alienate. I know sounds weird because of how the exclusives work with Sony, them not having the likes of Spider-Man over on the Xbox, but the PlayStation has sold so much more, and I imagine it will continue to do when the PlayStation 5 comes out. It sounds a little bit like sour grapes because obviously I will be buying into into the PlayStation ecosystem. However, having potentially overall now 110 million people that aren't going to be able to play your new Elder Scrolls game, that's a lot of people that you're going to potentially alienate. Whether or not it's just going to be coming out on the PlayStation 5 or it's not going to be coming out on the older generations, i.e. PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So yeah, I can't see it being a console exclusive. It just means that they will be getting a bigger chunk of the money as well. Like Bethesda and Microsoft will be getting a lot of money from people who are buying Sony rather than Bethesda getting 100% of the money. Do you know what I mean? Have I explained that properly? Because I feel like I've made an absolute shithole of that.
No, that makes sense. It makes sense. There's a lot of money. I mean, the way that they've phrased it is there's a lot of money left on the table if they don't let PlayStation have these games. Is that something that they can swallow? Is kind of the initial question first. And if it is, if they can say, okay, well, we're going to lose 500 million. I'll just pick that because it's a nice round number. It's probably nowhere near it, but we're going to lose 500 million if we don't sell it on PlayStation. But that means that everyone has to come and buy to us. So that money lost is then recouped elsewhere. Will that offset be enough? Is the sort of question. I'm not sure. I kind of feel like they will sell them on PlayStation. They will continue to do that because that is money on the table. That is guaranteed income in terms of you put Bethesda games like Doom out on PlayStation, it will sell. You put it out on Xbox, it will sell. If you just put it out on Xbox, you will sell more, but you kind of want to keep your options open. Any developer out there would ideally have every game on every platform. Obviously, there's instances where that might not be the case, but generally, if you're developing a game, if you could put it out on Switch, PlayStation, PC, and Xbox, you have more avenue for income. Obviously, that can then be skewed by how much will it cost to develop for every platform, and one platform might give you a wedge of cash to put it out on theirs first, or exclusively on there, which changes things. But from the off, a developer would want everything everywhere for more sales. So you kind of feel that Xbox would still want to chase that. They have done that with Minecraft, although it was shit for ages on PlayStation before they decided to properly support it. So I kind of feel like that they will do that. I just wouldn't be surprised if we start to see what we are going to see at launch. So what's the... Is it Deathloop? Is that the name of the Bethesda game that's going to be timed exclusive for PlayStation? If they are dealing... so if they're dealing with Deathloop Tokyo, or no, it's Ghostwire Tokyo, Deathloop as being a PlayStation timed exclusive, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft start going, oh, well, yeah, okay, you can have Elder Scrolls, but it's going to be 3 months later, or a month later. Or, yeah, you can have Elder Scrolls, but it's going to cost you $70 minimum because we're going to hit the top price level on PlayStation. So it's still there. We're still doing everything we need to do, but it's free on Game Pass. So if you want to play it on PC, nice. There you go. You don't have to spend anything. And if that is your game of choice, if you're like maybe 6 copies or whatever, and you go out and buy 6 copies of the game on all platforms and stuff, well, okay, I'm probably still going to buy it on every platform because I am Bibby and that is what I do. But first off, I mean, it's going to cost me nothing to get it on Game Pass, so I might play it there first. So that's I'm more likely. I feel like it makes more sense to keep their options open to sell on all platforms, but maybe have timed exclusives or content exclusives or early access and Game Pass price reductions for Xbox users over PlayStation. I think that's where I'm going to see the offset. Jumping in the chat, Chapper says, it always feels like I'm claiming double clout for the subs with those extensions giving out 2 notifications. Which ones? So we get the one popping up on the screen, and then you get the one in the chat. Is there another one? I don't know. Or do you mean, is that what you mean? I think it's Phil Spencer saying they don't have to do it if it came down to it, but he's not saying it won't happen, says Gary. That's the thing. I think he's not... What he's saying could be bent either way because he's not saying anything concrete. yeah, we don't need to do it. We're not saying we're not going to, but we don't need to. Okay, you've still not said anything. You've said logic. Okay, you don't need to. Not that you're not going to, but not that you are going to either. So, yeah, he's left it on the table. He said a good PR answer in terms of he's not said anything bad, but he's also not said anything at all. So,
Yeah.
if you're going to say something, at least don't let it be bad. So he said something to just kind of like pay lip service. I think the issue, it doesn't kind of show it as much in the way that it's phrased here. But the article that I saw last week on this said, when they asked him the question, as in like, was it possible to recoup the money without having it on console? And he went, yeah. Well, yes. But then there was a pause. And then he thought, how can I say this in a PR way? So the initial thing is, we don't need PlayStation. But what I mean is, and it's like, ooh, okay. I mean, is that, once again, it could just be the way it's written, the way it's proposed. It was the Kotaku, it was actually the Stephen Totilo Kotaku article. Let me see if I can click through, see if it got it there. Yeah, I can't find the exact bit. Oh, there we go. Is it possible to recoup this $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation? I asked. Yes, Spencer replied quickly replied. Then he paused. I
immediately think he's thinking of Game Pass, surely.
The thing is, though, like, Game Pass, there's still questions of how that can be sustainable longer term.
Well, if you put it on everything, like, I know this is only a pipe dream and they've talked about it. Well, it's being talked about by everybody else but the two companies themselves. But Game Pass potentially coming to Nintendo Switch. That's the whole broad new audience that they've got there. xCloud for mobile, Games Pass for PC, and obviously Game Pass for the consoles themselves. Now, if there was to start bundling, well, they said they were going to try and bundle Xbox Game Pass for the S. Was it for a year or 6 months or something? So you get free access to that, and then obviously you'll pay after that. Theirs has always been about software, hasn't it, Xbox? And now they're obviously in bed with Bethesda. That's another massive audience for them. I don't know whether or not they mentioned that Bethesda would come to Game Pass day one, so all Bethesda games would be on there. That includes obviously the Fallout franchise, including 76. And all of it, and all of the other Elder Scrolls games, but that would be a massive win for them and a lot of money, I think, long term. I don't even own it. Well, I won't be owning a new Xbox, but I've still got Game Pass on my PC.
Yeah, just that's not necessarily what I was getting at. Like, in terms of like having a lot of people buying into Games Pass, is nice and it's revenue in, but is that revenue lost overall? I mean, I imagine not. I imagine they've crunched the numbers on it, but where is the breaking point? Because if PlayStation are selling games at 70 quid a piece, and that's covering development time, and that's covering PlayStation's cut as not just the money that's going to the developers, and that's covering all of the extra bits, and then putting all of those games in a £10 a month subscription, the numbers don't stack in that sort of sense. That £10 that you pay in and I pay in and so on, there is a tipping point. There's a point where it does work if you get enough people spending, and then there's a point where it doesn't work in terms of, okay, you've got people spending, but more people would have been spending money, so there's money lost, so developers aren't liking it, so developers are going to start pulling games out of it. So that's where the question is on if that is successful. But anyway, the one way you do make it successful is to give reasons to jump into it. Because if people jump into it, you can do what Netflix did. You go, okay, well, it was $4.99, it's now $7.99, it's now $9.99, and now we're going to make a family package, which is 15 quid or whatever, where you can get 2 people on it, and just to make sure it works. And you systematically put your prices up over time. That's how you get your balance and stuff. So I fully expect that it will work for them. It's just a case of whether we would see those other games coming on PlayStation. I genuinely think the same thing as what you've said and what Gary has said as well. And Chappers, I reckon they'll not make it exclusive because they got the money on the sales of any. They get the money on the sales of any Bethesda games, 100%. Yeah. And then Gary's saying you can have it on Game Pass day one, or you can buy it on the PS5 for 70 quid. Either way, they're making money from it. And that's it. You give PlayStation 5 users the option to spend 70 quid. You cash, cha-ching. Okay, well, that benefits us. But you then still have a much more superior version of playing for free. I mean, it's not superior in terms of the console and stuff. It'll probably be pretty much the same game. But for 70 quid saved, that's superior. 60 quid saved if you just take off your £10 fee for your month. Job's good.
Yeah.
I think we might see a few being exclusive, but the main Bethesda titles will be multiplayer. I agree. Doom, multi-platform. Elder Scrolls, multi-platform. Something of the ilk of Deathloop or Ghostwire Tokyo. The next ones of those, Xbox exclusives. That's where we're going to see
absolutely. Yeah, he can't go for the ones that they know is universally loved across the board. It makes no sense for them to be able to do that, because essentially they'll just be handicapping themselves. They can't do that. Well, they can, but I just think that they'll just lose too much money eventually, unless people are doing what I'll end up doing and then just getting it for Games Pass on PC anyway. But yeah, I think that is the biggest win for them in terms of how many people are going to be playing it, how many people will be enjoying it, and how many people will be buying it. They're the three main things that they want to try and sell a Bethesda game for. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, some of the smaller ones will just maybe exclusive, but if id Studios or whoever works on a AAA title coming down the line, new titles that are AAAs might be Xbox exclusive too. I think they will be hamstrung on the ones that exist to an extent. I mean, they could just go, do you know what, we're not selling Doom on PlayStation. It's just, it is what it is. What are we going to do? Oh, all right. Well, I'll not play it then. Okay, fine, nice. Okay, everyone on Xbox will. Nice. We can't do anything about it. But I imagine they'll continue with that. But if they create the next The Last of Us or something like that, then they absolutely, at that point, go, well, we have no reason to bring this to all platforms. Just because it's made by Bethesda doesn't necessarily mean it has to be. It's not made by PlayStation. It's made by Xbox and Bethesda, so it's going to be Xbox exclusive. Final things then. Gary says, that's the thing with Game Pass. Will publishers start to question how much they're getting from being on the service? It's an interesting conundrum. Yeah, I mean, that's the same things have been asked of
Spotify.
Spotify, the Apple Game Pass or whatever. What's Apple's?
Apple Arcade.
Apple Arcade, that's the one.
Apples.
I was going to say Apple's Game Pass thingy, but yeah, the Apple Tree, the Apple Arcade. The questions have been asked for that, and Google's Play Store has had to change the way it monetizes, because it basically rewards certain game styles, and those, if you create a game that doesn't require, like Farmville, that's it, you'll earn an absolute fortune. Even if players aren't putting money into it, if they're just churning in the app forever and require hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of playtime, that gives you more incentive to be paid. Whereas if you play a game that's an hour long, then people will play it for an hour and it's done and go, do you know what, that is the best game I have ever played. The story and the narrative was phenomenal. It's changed my life forever. But Google's Play Store is like, actually, yeah, you only played it for an hour, so it's clearly shit, so therefore your developer doesn't deserve any money, which means that a developer's not going to make a groundbreaking emotive game anymore. It's going to create Farmville, which requires you to be in the game all day, because that's where they get the money from. And so there is negatives in terms of some producers and stuff will be like, yeah, developers should have said, well, I'm not interested in that, because that changes what the success threshold for my game will be. But that is something that we will develop and learn over time. And as that education comes with us over time, we will keep you up to speed here on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads with the scoop each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. We are going to disappear now, though. This is the end of the stream. Thank you, everyone, for being in. An hour and a half. Wow, I looked a few minutes ago. It was an hour and 4 minutes. And then we just suddenly churned out 25 minutes extra. Thank you very much for the good chat, though, you lovely people. If you want some more chat with a little bit of football, then feel free to come back for Masters of the League, episode 51, I believe. We are on the biggest win streak in Ice Cream Uploads FC history. We are competing in the Champions League and the FA Cup, and we've just secured the Premier League as well. So we are flying on all fronts. If you want to see us continue with that, then make sure you come back. Like I said, we'll go offline, get the green screen, everything set up, and we're back within 20 minutes tops-ish. So join us for that. Nice. Before we do disappear, though, Bib, is there anything you want to throw in?
Yes, of course. If you do see any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, then do feel free to get in contact with us. There's two ways that you can do it. First of all, find us on social media. Spoiler alert, it's Ice Cream uploads across absolutely everything. Second way, join our Discord. There's a little area on the side there that says the scoop. All we need from you is your thoughts and impressions, the URL link, and then we'll give you thoughts and impressions in the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m.
Ish.
I hit the host. Right. Oh, actually, speaking of that, do you know? I haven't used these yet, but we changed some. So we added some Halloween emotes and stuff the other day. We deleted that Halloween emotes because they're nice and seasonal, but we put more functional ones. So we now have host hype and red hype emotes in there. Can you post more links, please? Says West. Yeah, that's because we aren't in the studio. We have. In our studio, which is always on, our big pretty studio, we have it set up to spam chatbot, but because we're not in the studio, we can't turn it off.
You did it twice.
So I have chatbot open on my PC, and the reason for that is there are some commands like exclamation mark loot drop like that, which works just on my PC because I've put it on my PC, but it's not in the studio. Anyway, the only way we can stop that from happening is getting someone in the studio to go down and kill the studio. There we go. Exclamation mark 2K. Nice. Just a reminder.
You're in the studio tomorrow. We're in the studio tomorrow as well, aren't we?
No, you are. I'm not.
Oh, great.
Because COVIDness. Chloe's at home, so no.
Yeah.
So we're on the road to 2K followers. Once we hit 2K, we will announce another milestone giveaway. So tell your friends. The sooner we get to 2K, the sooner the giveaway can start. We are closing in on it. So once again, remind everyone if you want to ask your friends and family, just say, do you know what? There's a cool channel on Twitch to talk about video games and play PUBG and PES and every copy of Elder Scrolls that's ever existed. Then yeah, go follow it. Nice. And then when we hit 2K, we'll do another giveaway. Nice. Lovely. We are going to display. We'll be back with Masters of the League in 10, 15, 20 minutes. There's something along those lines. So stick around in the chat. Feel free. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day and stay frosty.